Today we're taking a look at these NCAAF matches, which are happening on Saturday, October 1st, 2022, and giving you match breakdowns, betting tips and predictions in general on these games. Welcome back to High Stakes, let's get straight into it. Also, don't forget to subscribe and push that notification bell to get notified as soon as we release these sport prediction videos, and if you would like more betting tips and predictions, then check out our Patreon in the link down below. Our new Patreon is a way for us to help you improve your chances of making more money. Multiple plans are available for each and every one of you. By becoming a member of the High Stakes Patreon, you will have access to our best team picks, total picks, parlay picks and much more. Stop wasting hours of your time searching for bad betting predictions that ends up costing you a lot of time and money. Join the High Stakes Patreon now and get the best betting picks. Going back to our video, we will give you 2 betting picks for each game, a team pick and a total pick based on facts and detailed explanation. So make sure to watch our videos till the end so you don't miss any of our picks. Central Michigan vs Toledo. Daniel Richardson is questionable to play, and the Chippewas will be in trouble if their starting quarterback hits the sidelines. Jace Bauer lacks experience, though he's carried the pigskin 9 times for 55 yards and a couple of scores in his 2 career appearances. Central Michigan will have to lean on its ground game, and the Rockets will be ready after a huge struggle against a run-heavy San Diego State team. The Chippewas' run D has done a good job so far this season and will contain Dequan Finn and Toledo's rushing. The Rockets will exploit CMU's secondary, so I'm backing them to cover a 7-point spread. The Chippewas are allowing the 8th most passing attempts per game, 39.5. Our team pick is Toledo Rockets -7 points. Again, the keys to the game are turnovers, Toledo's rushing attack, and stopping Central Michigan's passing attack. The Rockets ranks 31st in pass defense, holding their opponents to under 200 yards per game. That stat includes the Ohio State game. The under is 6-1 in the last 7 meetings and 5-3-0 in Central Michigan's games against MAC opponents in 2021. Run the ball, play defense, and take the under. Our total pick is under 56.5 points. Alabama vs Arkansas. The Alabama Crimson Tide are obviously a great team, but have enjoyed a rather light schedule so far. Their toughest opponent was Texas, and they only won that game by 1 point on the road. Arkansas's only defeat was a 2-point decision against number 23 Texas A&M last week. Furthermore, the Razorbacks have a potent defense. KJ Jefferson surpassed 300 passing yards in the meeting against Alabama last season. The Hogs also have a stellar running game that will shine. Raheem Sanders is one of the best RBs in the FBS. He already has 508 rushing yards. Moreover, Alabama will run quite a bit, and Arkansas has a stifling rush defense that is limiting foes to 100 rushing yards per game, good for 29th in the FBS. Arkansas only lost by a touchdown against Alabama last year and now has an experienced, better squad than last year, ready to take on the conference foes. Our team pick is Arkansas Razorbacks +17.5 points. The Arkansas Razorbacks have been doing decently well on the defensive side of the field this season, as they are giving up 26 points on 401.8 total yards per game. In their last game against the Texas A&M Aggies, the Razorbacks allowed 23 points on 343 total yards of offense, 151 passing, 192 rushing. They did a good job of stopping the Aggies on 3rd down attempts, as they were 4 of 12 on 3rd down tries. They need to defend a lot better against the opposing rushing game. Texas A&M ran the ball 34 times for 192 yards, 5.6 yards per carry, with a rushing touchdown as well. Both teams have been dominating offensively and moving the chains, as the Crimson Tide are 19 of 43, 44.19% on 3rd down attempts this season, while the Razorbacks are 28 of 60, 46.67% on 3rd down tries thus far. Bryce Young should be healthy enough to be under center in this game and should be able to dice up this Arkansas defense, as he has 8 total touchdowns in his last 2 games, while KJ Jefferson has 12 total touchdowns on the season, 8 passing, 4 rushing. The over is 21-10-1 in the Crimson Tide's last 32 games after allowing less than 20 points in their previous game. Our total pick is over 60.5 points. Rutgers vs Ohio State. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights are looking to rebound from their first defeat of the season. They recorded a minor upset win in the season opener, defeating Boston College 22-21 in a game that had the Knights as 9-point dogs. Next, they defeated Wagner and Temple to improve to 3-0 and were 9-point dogs in a 27-10 home loss against Iowa last week. Rutgers has covered the points in 2 of their 4 games. Rutgers has used 2 QBs led by Evan Simon. The sophomore only attempted 15 passes against Temple, but went 28 for 49, with a remarkable 300 passing yards against Iowa. Simon has collected 566 passing yards, along with a 3.2 TD to int ratio on the season. The offense has used 4 different RBs this season. Kyle Manangai has received the most carries and has been mediocre, collecting 157 yards on an average of 3.7 yards per rush. They only have one received with at least 10 catches in Aaron Cruikshank. The senior WR only has 156 receiving yards on the year. The Rutgers offense has only scored a total of 26 points in their last 2 games. The number 3 Ohio State Buckeyes are living up to the hype so far. They are considered a legit championship contender and have made easy work of their 4 opponents. Ohio State beat a Notre Dame squad that was ranked at the time by a 21-10 score in the season opener. The following 2 bouts were against mid-major squads. Last week, the Buckeyes were favored by 19 points in a 52-21 home win against Wisconsin of the Big Ten. OSU has covered the points in 2 of their 4 games. C.J. Stroud continues to dominate. The junior QB has reached at least 280 passing yards in 3 consecutive games, including 281 yards against Wisconsin last week. Stroud has accumulated a remarkable 1222 passing yards, accompanied by a dazzling 16:1 TD to int ratio. The Buckeyes are difficult to contain on the ground as well. They have 3 RBs capable of big yardage led by Trevion Henderson. The sophomore RB is definitely one of the top running backs in the Big Ten. He has accrued 319 rushing yards, while Mian Williams is just behind with 308. Marvin Harrison Jr. has already surpassed last year's receiving total. The sophomore WR has brought in over 100 yards in 2 out of his last 3 games and has registered 388 yards on the season. The Ohio State offense has eclipsed 40 points in 3 consecutive performances. The Rutgers Scarlet Knights are having trouble generating points. They only managed to score 16 points against a subpar Temple squad 2 weeks ago and registered 10 points against a good Iowa defense last week. Ohio State is possibly the best team in the FBS. They simply have too many weapons, and this large spread is more than justified. Wisconsin is considering a top 5 team in the Big Ten, and the Buckeyes just beat the Badgers by 31 points last week, making the spread more than reasonable. Furthermore, Rutgers depends on the running game heavily. This is not ideal considering the Buckeyes' rush defense is spectacular, limiting foes to 111 rushing yards per game. Rutgers has a good defense but can be exploited in the air. They have really only played against one pass-heavy team so far and struggled, conceding 283 passing yards against Boston College QB Phil Jurkovec. OSU has a Heisman candidate in QB C.J. Stroud, who already has 1,600 passing yards. Our team pick is Ohio State Buckeyes minus 40 points. The Scarlet Knights are 3-1, but this isn't a good football team. Rutgers' wins have come against Temple, Boston College, and Wagner. Rutgers beat a struggling Temple program by just 2 points, and the Scarlet Knights defeated a 1-3 Boston College team by just 1 point. In Rutgers' first step-up game of the year last week against Iowa, the team lost by 17 points at home. The final score was slightly misleading against Iowa, since Rutgers outgained the Hawkeyes by 84 yards, but the Scarlet Knights' 3 turnovers prevent the team from being able to get going offensively. Ohio State has been solid. Wisconsin scored 14 meaningless points late in the Buckeyes' blowout victory last week, but Ohio State has given up 21 or fewer points in each of the team's first 4 games, and most of the points scored on them, since the Notre Dame have come late in the game, once the score was already out of hand. Ohio State's defense hasn't been tested by a top offense yet, but the Buckeyes have been good against the 4 teams they have faced so far. Rutgers doesn't have the defense to stop a top offense, as they will see on Saturday. Ohio State has given up some late scores in games where they have been up big this year. Rutgers' offense has also struggled to run the ball. The Scarlet Knights won't likely have the ability to slow the game down and play possession football. Our total pick is over 59 points.